can learn from you as we speak through Canon Dr. Ruth Senyonyi. Thank you, Lord, that you've kept her well and that she has been able to spare her time, her very precious time to speak to us. We pray, Lord, that you yourself will give her your very same thoughts and that she'll be able to express those thoughts and also to express your will and also to tap into your knowledge and pass that knowledge straight on to us. We pray, Lord, that whatever we learn today will go forward to helping us to manage our careers. We pray that as many will be able to join on and that also our internet will be stable and that our gadgets will work well and that there will be no interference at all. We pray all this through the powerful name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. So, Canon Dr. Ruth Senyonyi, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Professor. I'm happy to be back, and we're happy to have you too. Today we talk about career management. Let me find the slides and share. Okay, I'm glad that John is on as we present. And so career management, I'm sure I'm excited actually to speak about this because it affects all of us, whether you have started or not, you're on that path of developing your career. You know, what is your ambition? What were you dreaming about? I've been requested this weekend to speak to university students again on career and academics and where is it taking them and relationships. I think next time we'll be talking about relationships as well. So this time is more of jumping into why am I here? Why am I into this training? What do I want to do? How do I want to make sure that all is well? So we are on a journey. Career is a journey of our work life, you know. Some of us now who are retired can talk about what we did several years ago, where we started. I am a teacher by profession, and so I started out in my S6 actually. That's when I started. I really, really wanted to teach. And however much they tried to get me away from teaching, I said I want to teach. And I usually tell the story that when I was in S5, they asked us which choices we are going to make. And I told them that I want to put education first choice. Now, I was coming from a school where you don't put education first choice. Gayaza High School, you had to either be an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, those three things. And if you don't, because everybody was performing very well and they felt that those are the things you have. And in our day, of course, the things were the choice was not that wide. But I really wanted to be a teacher. And there was a teacher that I loved, Miss Ojok. She used to teach history. And I said, when I teach, I want to be like her. I want to be able to speak so that people can understand what I'm doing. So I went into teaching and I loved every bit of it. I have no regrets at all for having done education. I took geography, literature, and English. So I'm a literature English teacher mostly for secondary school. But I got in there for a few years and then I went into counseling. That's another story also. So for me, as a retired lady, I can go backwards and say I've done these kinds of jobs and I have built my career in this kind of way. So it's my journey. What is your journey of your work life? If you manage it well, it leads to what we call job satisfaction. You get satisfied with what you're doing and you are fulfilled and you are financially healthy and you grow and you are stable. That's what we want. So we need to be able to grow in that way. So what is the definition? It's a lifestyle. Career is a lifestyle that also involves a sequence of work activities in which one engages throughout a lifetime. Just move this a little. Oops. Sorry, what did I do? I don't know what I did. My smile. I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Okay, I hope you can see the screen. Okay, a lifestyle that involves a sequence of work activities that you engage throughout a lifetime. So the jobs you have held, the titles you have earned, the work you have accomplished over a long period of time. So it's for me now in my age still, I can say, I have had several jobs. I worked with Gayaza High School, with Makerere College School, with Makerere High School. I worked with Hope After Rape. I worked with Bank of Uganda. So that is my jobs. What titles did I hold? I was a counselor. I was a teacher. I was, a deputy director. Now I'm a chairperson, oh, yeah. And the work that you've accomplished, are you able to say, this is what I have done, the impact I've had over a period of time? So it's unique to each person, and most times is created by choice. I put that in brackets because um, in Uganda, let me talk about Uganda, there are many people who get into careers not by choice, but because of the performance and because of what is available, and maybe sometimes because of the money that they have. So we can't always say that it's by choice, but sometimes you find yourself in a spot and you don't even know how you got there. But even if you did that, it's important to develop it. How am I going to develop that career? Career is also something that defines what you do for a living. Most careers are done for a living, although there are some that are done for leisure, but most of them are supposed to be done for a living. So it might require extensive training, might require extensive education, and a willingness to learn. So you can't say, oh, I'm a doctor, and that's the end of it, because things change. Recently, I've had several difficulties with my back, and I went to several doctors. And so some are old fashioned, some have new equipment. And so I'm caught in the middle. Should I go with what the old doctor is saying, who doesn't have any machinery in his room? Or should I go with this new person who has all these gadgets and all these things? Yeah, so training and willingness to learn is very important. Choices, progress, and actions that you take in your working life, that is career. What choice did I make? I am a doctor, I am a teacher, and the actions I did are A, B, C, D. That determines your career. Now I want you to look at this, it's called a RIASEC um, assessment or theory of career choice by a man called Holland. And it's your personality sometimes that pushes you into something that you want to do. Some people are able to get in quite early. Some people discover what they can do much, much later. So you find someone maybe doing a master's and he says, oh, I want to do a master's in counseling because that's what I feel I can do. Or I have a friend, colleague of mine who did who started her law career long after she had had her children, long after she was in her 50s. So you can actually go into different things. So you can look at them, for example, realistic. People who have athletic or mechanical ability, they prefer to work with objects, machines, tools, plants, or animals, or to be outdoors. So you have to find out, are you a person who likes to work with things or not? For example, then you become a doer. They prefer practical, hands-on tasks, working with tools and machines and animals, or they are working outdoors. And then we have what we call the investigative one, the one with ideas, people who like to observe, to learn, to investigate, to analyze, to evaluate, to solve problems mathematically. They are investigative. I think that's where my husband falls. They prefer to work with ideas and do not like highly structured settings. So I'm taking you back and forth because it explains it a little more. Investigate the thinkers. They analyze, they observe, they solve complex problems. Many times this is scientific or academically. So there are some people who are like me, I will never do a PhD in whatever it is because I can't think. I'm not a thinker. And so it's important to know what kind of person that you are. What is your career type? And then we have those that are artistic, people who have artistic, innovative, or intuitional abilities. They can actually create things out of nothing. For example, the people who do events. You have to come. I sometimes marvel. There's a whole field that has nothing, and they come and they put up, a tent and they put in tables and they build up things or architecture. You build up a house. Our son is an architect. He built this house, and he not built, but he planned it. So it's in there. You're innovative, creative. Mhm. So that is, they prefer unstructured, creative work, utilizing imagination, self-expression, and intuition. Creators. They create things. Then we have the social people, people who like to work with people, to enlighten, to help, to train, to cure. So the doctors, the teachers would like to fall here. They prefer solving problems through discussion. Sit down, let us say what is wrong, what's happening to you, and they prefer to do work with things. So the social prefer helping. They are teaching, they are mentoring, they are caring for others, they are focusing on human people. Then we have the enterprising people, people who like to work with people, influencing them, persuading. So these are the leaders, the politicians, managing them for economic gain, or the CEOs, people like that. They enjoy leadership positions and dislike details. So the persuaders, they're called persuaders. Enterprising or task-oriented are the persuaders. They prefer leading, influencing, managing, persuading others, often in business or political role. Then we have people who work with data, that is conventional. They are very orderly. They have numerical, clerical ability. Accountants fall here, you know. They want to follow through on others' instructions. It's like yesterday there's a balance here. This is how we balance our books. So those kind of people, the organizers, they prefer structured tasks. They work with data, they work with numbers, they organize records and follow set procedures. I think my son falls here. He's a data, has something in data management. So brings all the data together and puts them in a certain way that can be read easily. Yeah. So where, I don't know, you might look at all that and see where you fall. Normally, there is you have to do a test to find out your career type. Usually they give you 3 letters, because here they are like RIASEC. So you might have 3 things here. You may be a doer, a thinker, and a creator, but there's a dominant one. It's always the first one. So if you're realistic, you have RIA. If then you might have IA, something like that. So you can look it up and find out what kind of career type that you have. It's very interesting. I used to do a lot of this with people, especially when I was doing when we were in the US, and I was helping people to think about their careers. I used that method quite a lot. Now, there are many things also that influence the choices we make in career. Gender. There are some careers that are, are determine, women like it, men like it more, things like that. Although now, as we are getting smaller in those areas, there are many people do the same kind of thing, but things like climbing high and or risky things, men like to do them. Your social class also influences your career choices because it depends on how far you are going to go, how much money you are going to spend, your family background, what is the support of the family. Some people are orphans, they don't have a lot of money. And so when it gets to education, they say, oh, I'm your uncle, I'm taking care of you. You cannot do medicine, of course. You go and find a course, this amount of money, and you end up there because of your family support. Your intelligence definitely puts you where you're supposed to be. If you are not very intelligent, you do something that does not require a lot of intelligence, and vice versa. And then your interest. I wish we could use this more. What do you want to do? Because I find that people who have gone into careers that they like to do, they put their all in it. Like, I mean, I have no other person to talk about except me and my husband. But I love teaching up to today. These things that I do here, like speaking now, I don't have any trouble with them because I put my all in it. When they ask me to come and speak to a congregation, I don't mind, especially if it covers areas that I know about and that I can talk about. So it's my interest. What about your competencies? What about your values? I remember my mom speaking about the fact that she didn't want to do a nursing course in Mulago because she had heard that so many girls there become pregnant when they are in that Mulago school. So she changed her career and went into teaching because of her values. Then the job market. When we're helping people to think about their careers, we are also looking at the job market. What is available? What is on the market? What is right now? There's a lot on oil, and there was a time there was a lot on gender, so people did gender studies. Now it's not as much. There's a lot on, we are opening up the oil wells. What if I have something in oil? What will I do? As a lawyer, what else can you do apart from just a law course? As a doctor, what else do you need to add on? What is the job market? That becomes a very important thing. So career is affected by many things. My goals, my experience, my interest, my values, my education, my skills. They all kind of feed into the whole equation. Now we have what we also call career stages, and please don't take the ages as if that is made in stone, but there are 5 stages that we talk about when we talk about career. And the first one is called exploration. So when you're about 21 to 25 years, you are really trying to explore, what is my choice? Why do I want this? Some people even go up to 3rd year. Some people even finish university and then they realize that actually no, this is not what I want to do, and they go back and study. So it's a discovery stage where we are developing all the basic skills that we need in career. So it's called exploration. The next one is called more established, about to 35. You've just finished your university, you are finding jobs, so you are looking for jobs, you are applying for jobs, you are accepting positions. Sometimes you reject positions because the money is too little, or you don't like working in that particular place. Going back to what I said earlier, maybe your values, you cannot work in a Uganda Breweries Corporation because it's making beer and you are Christian. So there are things they may offer you a very good job, but you're like, no, I'm not taking that job. So we are accepting positions according to how we are thinking. Then we have that stage 3, mid-career, for about 35 to 45. There's a kind of stability. I know what I have studied. I know what I want. Maybe I'm transitioning to a new career. I don't really like that. Let me do a master's or 2 or a PhD in something else. That's where we're getting promoted, where we're getting increases in pay. And sometimes that's where we're also having family activities. People have gotten married, they probably have 1 or 2 children, and they probably have other businesses running alongside their career to supplement the money that they're making. Then when you get to about 45 to 55 years, it is a late late career stage. It's like it's less demanding. I don't know about this one, but I felt that this at this age it was more demanding. But anyway, that's something we can discuss. You are teaching others, they're bringing others into the company, and they're asking you to mentor them, and maybe they're asking you who can succeed you, who can you work with. There are often fewer opportunities for advancement. You've probably reached the top or the next to the top, and you are also envisioning retirement. Some people retire at this stage at 55, others start writing books, others start doing different things. And then stage 5 is called the decline. I think that's where my husband and I, oh, my husband is no longer in this stage, he's above it, but I'm in here. We are ready to retire. Sometimes we are working part-time, sometimes we are doing more consulting. We are elders and we have more wisdom, and people come and say, can you help us for 6 weeks, for 1 month, for 1 year? Sometimes you even get another full-time job. There are people who really get another full-time job and start working. This is the time we kind of take up chairmanship of things and on boards and things like that. So that is what we call the career stages. Okay, part of the career development. Now, when you get to then what is career management? Career management is the personal state of actively and consciously participating in shaping one's career and accepting responsibility for the activities and choices that you have made. So actively, just not those things, actively and consciously participating in how my career is going to look like. What is it going to be shaped like? Because some people ruin their advantages. They're in a very good place, good job, then they steal the money. And that brings down their career. They can no longer work in the banking sector because they stole money from a bank. Then they move into another career. It just upsets everything. So it's important to shape your career and accept that my responsibility of managing it is mine. My choices, the activities that I'm doing are mine. So it's important to know what do you do well. That is self-knowledge. Explore and make decisions that shape your career. And I could give examples here. When I was in counseling, I was training, I was working as a counselor in Bank of Uganda, but more into training with Makerere University part-time. And I loved that training. I would spend my whole Saturday just training. And then I realized that I'm churning out people with masters in counseling and I'm still at the same level. So I decided, that's another decision I made, that I want to advance. Okay? I want to shape my career a little more. So I went for my PhD. Now that was my son, my last born. Our last born was in S1 when I started my PhD. And it was quite interesting because I requested for some leave without pay and the bank refused to give it to me. Actually, the deputy governor called me in his office and said, Ruth, I'm not giving you time off for school, but we shall support you in whatever way you want us to. And so I was like, wow, if they want to support me, not so much monetary, but they were aware that I was doing a PhD and I was able to finish in 3.5 years instead of the 4 that was designated for it. So, if you want to do that, you have to take a responsibility for the choices that you made. I was a wife, I was a mother, I was working, but I had taken that responsibility that I'm going to make sure that I do my PhD and I shape my career. That the people I'm teaching, I'm at a better stage than them. And I could teach them better. And I realized that really, really helped me. So it's a lifelong process as you evaluate your opportunities for advancement, for changes in your career as well. If you want to change, if you want to advance, it is your choice. So career, just also to make clear what career advancement is progression to the next level of your career. I'm a counselor. I have progressed. I did my master's in counseling. Now I have a PhD in counseling. I am working as a counselor in my own counseling firm. Now, what will progression be? Maybe I'll have many more counselors I'm working with. Maybe I'll open another branch. Maybe. So progression to the next level of your career. And it may be through promotion. It may be getting a new field. Supposing I now want to become a doctor, like Dr. Kawoya, and say, fine, I'm going to do radiology. Trust me, I'm not going to do radiology, but I want to do radiology, so I'm getting into a new field. So I'm moving, I'm advancing. And if I know that I'm a radiologist and I'm going to be a counselor at the same time, that will have advanced my level of career. So the progress may come with an enhanced job title. It may come with increased, expanded responsibilities. It may increase your skill set, or it may increase your salary. So when I did my PhD, definitely my salary also went up, although it wasn't automatic, but after some time, my salary at the bank also went higher. And by the time I retired, I was at a good state. I could get a good pension. So you need to advance your career. Don't stop at just one level and say, I've attained, I'm done. So advancement can be in the area of compensation, in the area of authority. You have more authority. My husband became the CEO or the vice chancellor. He had more authority. I remember one time he said, sorry, I'm speaking for you, John, but one time he said that I used to always say, oh, I'll consult the vice chancellor. I'll consult when he was deputy vice chancellor. And now he was the vice chancellor. There's no one to consult. So up above you. So you might advance to get more authority, be the vice chancellor or the chancellor of Ernest Cook University. You have the authority, the influence, the position. But it also goes with reputation, because you can't advance when your reputation is down. It also improves your social status, and it also improves your you feel more fulfilled, if there is such a word as more fulfilled, but fulfilled should just be enough without adding more, as an English teacher. Then moving up the career, advancement is really like you're moving up the ladder. So it needs careful planning, it needs intentional steps as you move up the ladder. It also means goals. What goals are you working toward? It's not like some people say, well, my boss has to die before I take up his place. Please don't kill your boss. But you have to work toward a goal. And it's not only in a certain one place one place company that I have to be the CEO of this company. Being a CEO can cut across. You can be a CEO of anywhere if you have the goals that you're working towards. Then we have, the career has so many words, but there's also what we call career development. Progression of short-term steps taken to achieve long-term professional goals. So it's important in your head to say, what are my professional goals? What are my career goals? Where am I going? Just like I told you, I wanted to be a teacher. I got to the goal. Get to that goal, move to another goal. After being a teacher, I want to be a counselor. What kind of counselor are you going to be? I want to be a career-based counselor. So I work in a school, or I want to be workplace counselor, or I want, so professionally, what is your goal? Then career development is the process of learning and utilizing short-term skills. The process, first of all, is the progression taken to achieve, and then the process of learning and utilizing those skills to progress towards long-term professional goals. And then it involves a build-up of role-specific skill sets and advancing along a certain career path. So you want to be a radiologist. What is the next step there? You can do something else to improve in that area. Recently, I took an Uber home and I spoke to a young man. I think he's about 24. So I asked him a lot of questions. Oh, how did you do S4? He said, yes, I did S4. Did you do S6? Yes, I did S6. But then I really didn't want to do S6 because I don't think it was important. I was young. I didn't realize that S6 is so important. Yet I want to do something in politics. Then I asked him, so what else do you have? He said, I did electricity. And I said, wonderful. So now don't just stop there. Maybe do some more in that certificate of electricity. I think he called it certificate of electricity. Get a diploma, get a degree so that you can get a better job. So it involves a build up of those skill sets so that you can advance further into your career path. Now, you may need to reskill. You may need to acquire more qualifications. You may need to adjust to work requirements, maybe new time, maybe work from home. You may need to look for new employment. You may need to move on after you've lost a job. All that is career development. So don't just sit, oh, they've fired me, or they told us they're cutting us off. So many people have been laid off with these Trump orders. So don't just sit at home. And that's why it's always good to have skills that can be taken on by other people. Build up your skills, whether it's little diplomas, little certificates, and you bring them all out and say, you guys, I am so good at this computer work. This is what I did. Look for that new employment because you have the skill set. Try also hand-on skills practically. Start new businesses. That is what we call career development. It may not be in the area you even studied. It may not be, but you feel that that's what you want to do. So it's important. So what are the benefits of career management? One, it improves job satisfaction. It makes you happier at work. It opens new opportunities. It opens a learning curve. We are always learning. Be always open to learning. When I was in the bank, I'm a counselor. I did not study human resource at all. But the experience I have as a human resource manager are beyond what I can say. 22 years working with human resource. And the way we work in the bank is like you can do other, you can work with other people. It is fine. You can work with other people and do their job. So we would sit in for people and do for them. We would help with recruitment. So somehow everything kind of came together. So that's a learning curve I'm always on. I'm learning and I love to learn. It increases motivation at work. It helps achieve financial goals. It improves employee retention. It helps make use of skills. It improves employee engagement. And then there's less expensive on succession processes. And it's a good company branding to attract employees. So we need what we call a development plan. This is a tool that helps you stay on track to achieve your professional goals. It provides a kind of roadmap. If you have your phones and you have the GPS, it gives you a direction for the future. And then it also helps you identify skill gaps and gives you an opportunity to reskill, upskill, or get a new skill, and also inspires personal motivation. So it's important to think of what plan do I have in the next 5 years, in the next 1 year, in the next 10 years. What is my professional development plan? What do I want to do with my profession? So it includes a summary statement. This is what I would like to do, like to become. It includes a short-term goal. This is what I need to do to get there. Long-term goals, this is the money I need for that. What are my current skills? Now I'm only a teacher, but I need the counseling skill. How am I going to develop those skills? What are the resources? Who is your support? Will you need career growth support from your workplace or from your parents or from your guardians? What are the action items that you need? Do I need continuing education? Do I need professional development opportunities or potential work projects and so on? So the plan, you first begin by examining yourself. What is the place of work in my life? Why do I want to work? You know, my husband was preaching the other day and he was talking about work and he said that even in heaven we are going to be working, and people looked at each other. We are like, no, we don't want to continue working in heaven. We want to just sit and relax in the streets of gold. He says, you know, they worked the garden, Adam and Eve, and they said they are going to restore that next when we go to heaven. So we are continuing with work. We better learn how to work. What do you get out of it? What do you want to achieve in the next 5 years? If you are to change, those of you who are still in school, what kind of work do you want? Some people say, I want to work with the UN. That is a very general thing. UN, what is UN? UN is UN. You see, it's disappeared. So, but what are you? What do you want to do? Huh? Are you a person who pulls things together? Are you an accountant? Are you what is it that you are that you want to achieve? Not looking at, I want to work in Gayaza High School. Supposing you don't get there. So you broaden it and say, I want to work in a school. And when I work in a school, it has to be the best that I will that I'll give. My skill, they will be looking for me. I know there are some colleagues of mine who work in the bank and they come and look for them. Equity Bank comes and says, we want you. You will pay all your loans where you are, take you in and give you a double salary. I mean, that's what you would like, wouldn't you? If you had to change jobs, what would you consider? Do you need to advance? Are you employable elsewhere? That is the first step, assessing yourself. And then what is your vision? What is your motivation? What are you good at? How do you work with people? Where do you want to go? Are you flexible with whatever is happening? Do you embrace technology? And then the third one is the career goal. What is your goal? What does my ideal future look like? What do I want to accomplish? That is now the short-term goals, the long-term goals, the SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. That by 2030, just like we are talking about HIV, I often get opportunities to push in HIV whenever I can. We have a strategic plan for the next 5 years. And what are we doing? We are ending AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. So we have very specific goals, specific, measurable, and every end of year, by the way, every quarter, we are coming up with things that show us what we have done toward the goal. Is it achievable? I want to do a PhD in Canada. How? How are you going to do that? When and why? And who is going to pay for it? And what specific thing do you want to do? So people start their PhDs when they don't even know why they are doing it. So these are things to help you think through what you really want to do. Then you build a skill. What do you have? Oh, I'm a good communicator. So what do you need? I need more in this. What are your competencies? When they appraise you, what is it that comes up? Are you able to have class, books, mentors, managers, colleagues to help you? Do you have a computer to do a short course every evening for the next 3 months? Do you have the money? What kind of skills do you need? Interpersonal skills, soft skills, managerial skills, technical skills, technology, university degree, professional certificate. What is it that you need there? And then you go to the resources. Step 5. Who is your support? Will it be the manager? Will it be my parents? What does your job offer for career management? What does your school offer for career management? Any mentorship? Can you go to Dr. Kawoya and say, I want to sit at your feet and see how you work? Because that's where I want to go, where Dr. Kawoya is. That's what I want to do. And you go and sit with him and see what he does. Okay, get some mentorship and then get into class and then ask questions and then also look at the salary. Many times when we are interviewing people, I do a lot of interviews, by the way, in the boards that I have. I happen to always be on human resource and we do appointments. So they ask them, so how much money do you want to get? And they laugh. Anything that you can give me? Anything? No. You have to say what you want to get. I want 5 million. I want 10 million. I am worth 14 million. I'm worth 23. What is your income? Do you need a raise if you're already working? How do you ask for a raise? What about the salary structures of similar organizations? Do you know what they earn? Are there any job offers? So anytime you go for an interview, you students who are almost finishing or those who are just starting, think and say, what are the jobs that I want to do? What is the job market right now? What do people earn? Don't look at, oh, I put in fuel for 10,000, therefore I'll ask for 30,000 when everybody else is getting 500K. Okay, what is your, then you look at your expenditure. What do I spend? Why do I travel from far? What are my savings? What are my assets? What are my investments? What loans and debts do I have? And so will I be able to go through if I am doing this job? What are the benefits of doing it? Budgeting and insurance, all those come in, are supposed to look at them. And the last step is that you work then toward your goal. I hope you remember what I'm talking about. I said it's important to develop a plan for what you need. So there are 7 steps, and the last one is the action. Work towards your goal. What is your goal? Track your milestones. Wow, I've done well. I've got the money, I've got the scholarship, I've got the sponsor, I've got the course. Begin with I've got the course that will take me into where I want to go. Don't begin by, I want to go abroad. To do what? Don't go abroad if you have nothing to do. But say, I've found in Canada the thing that I want to do to get to this goal, this professional goal. So some of us are aimless. You are just getting a visa to go abroad. And when you get there, you start cleaning toilets. There's nothing that you're doing there. Yeah? Because you didn't think about what you want. So your progress can be affected by health issues, by age, by financial resources. So assess all those and always avoid getting into things by bribery or buying yourself out, using what we call thigh power or woman power, or using the know who. Oh, I know Ruth Senyonyi, she works in Uganda AIDS Commission. She'll get a job for me. No, you people, you go and get your jobs. Nobody got a job for me in Bank of Uganda. I went and did the interview and passed it. I did not have a grandfather. So no one could come and shake me up, I'm going to send you away because your grandfather has gone. No, I qualified to sit there. So give up that entitlement mentality and work for what you have to do. I cannot end without talking a little bit about career counseling. This is where a counselor helps you or groups of individuals to explore the decisions or resolve problems about choices in career, choices in what you want to establish yourself as, and in management. So look for someone who can do that. As I said, it's one of the areas that I really went into when I was doing counseling. And I was at Makerere High for quite a bit of time. And to date, I meet people who tell me, Mrs. Senyonyi, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have gone to Makerere University. I went, and after that, I did this. And they meet me all the time because I used to sit down with them and would think about 5 years to come. You're in S5, what would you like to do? What would you like to be? Let's start there and think, short term, long term, and then you get there and go and see what do lawyers do. Some people had never even seen a lawyer except on TV or in movies. Some wanted even to be Superman. I mean, because they don't know. So getting that guidance that this university gives this one takes me here. When I do radiology, I will do this. Maybe when I do some medical skills, some medical study, I can do this on top of it all. Yeah, I can pick up this from here and become a real doctor, So find out, explore those things with somebody who can help you. And then we also help clients develop a rewarding and enjoyable career, clarity of their goals. We help them to that. Then we've helped them to find the area of focus that will best fit their personality. Remember that the Holland thing that I talked about. So we can say, okay, you seem to be very good in artistic things. You are creative. Maybe let's go that direction. And then helps you on how to handle some of the implications of the job. What are my stresses? What are my frustrations? What is my family doing? So as I end, I just want to give you some tips. Remain relevant, even as you study. So increase your skills, get as many skills as you can, even if it's computer skills. Improve your analytical thinking. Some people don't analyze things. Increase your evaluating skills, your communication skills, your writing, your speaking, your interpersonal relationship skills, and problem-solving skills. They are all important in whatever area that you want to do. Then add to your knowledge and skills by further training. Keep going. Don't stop learning, even if it's little certificates. Sometimes in our counseling world, we have little courses. They teach you about addiction. They teach you about this and that and that. So I pick up and I put into my store. So I become knowledgeable. Or sometimes they ask me to speak about something and I'm like, wow, okay, I've never spoken about that one. Let me go to school. I bring out all my books, I pull out everything, and I'm a scholar again. And by the time I speak, I'm like an expert. So add on to your knowledge. Then evaluate your milestones as you pursue your dreams. And lastly, get help. If you need help, please get help. Seek professional help. Talk to a trusted friend. Talk to a counselor. Talk to the dosa. I think you have a dosa. Talk to a priest. They can help you when you are going through real difficult times. I want to say thank you for listening to me, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Canon Dr. Ruth Senyori. We were still listening in, and I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat. So I was listening in and also trying to read what people were saying. Interesting thoughts. And allow me to just read one or two of what people have said. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Professor. What? Okay, no.